There is nothing you cannot do. There's no mountain you cannot move. If you have said it, then you will do it.
Hello, everyone.
You have a track record of keeping your word. You're not about to stop doing it now.
Hey! Run mighty, oh. Lord, you are mighty. The thing you left for me, just show for us. If you want no for me, just show for us. Oh, Lord, you are mighty. Hello, everyone. Come on in, come on in. Hello, everybody.
To your holy name, the center of power and strength. There is
nothing you cannot do. There is nothing you cannot do. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. There is nothing God cannot do. Hi, everybody. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Let's talk immigration. Long weekend for everybody. Well, for most people. Yes, there is nothing that God cannot do. I love worship. I'm telling you. You listen. You can just leave me worship because whenever, and I think for me, and I think a lot of people, whenever I am, because trust me, I got down times. Like, okay, things are not going the way I planned. My fallback is worship. My fallback is worship. Just like, okay, he's got me. He's got me. Hey, Miss Joy, how are you? Hello, hello. I'm still waiting on you. Hi, everyone. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒂𝒏𝒕 Olale Omamabasam. Immigration lawyer based in Alabama. Hello, Miss Lee. Y'all don't be coming for me again because everybody, there's always someone who says, you don't smile like you smile when you see her name. Y'all just leave it alone. Well, I'll leave it out. So, hey, Miss Lee. So, as I was saying, if I interrupt myself, this is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒂𝒏𝒕 Samuel, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. You got an immigration case. If it's a case that my firm handles, we can do exactly. Let them keep saying. Y'all leave it alone. If you need to contact our office, number is 334-341-4475. You can also send a text to the same number, office number 334-341-4475. Visit our website in the month of May. So I have someone who tracks the analytics and all that. Listen, I know how to practice law. Anything's got to do with numbers and calculations, unless it has a dollar sign in front of it. If there's no dollar sign in front of it, I don't know. But this sending number, it was like we had the most visits to the website this month of May than any other month since our website went live. So thanks to everyone who visited our website. We do appreciate you guys. And if you have not, I think I am a very, very simple. Well, some people think I'm high maintenance. I don't think I am. But when it comes to tech stuff, you've got to dummy it down completely for me because I just don't care for technical stuff. Now, I can argue with you till Jesus comes back. I can draft a brief to Jesus. But when it comes to all this time, so my point is my website, I needed it to be very, very simple where people can go and navigate and everybody can understand what they're looking at and go exactly to the page that you're looking for the information on. That's what I want on the website. So I needed to do that. So it's very, very easy to browse. You can contact us there as well. Share and like our Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. If you put in Olale Immigration on all social media platforms, you can see this gray hair and this gap teeth attorney. But anyway, come on in. Let's talk. You already know. Hey, Miss Annette. You already know the drill. Put your questions in the comment section, and then we'll get to that later on. So this evening, I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. Most of the time I don't go in the office on Monday. So for me, it's usually like a 3-day weekend, unless we have, because I do criminal defense. So sometimes we have jury selection, and jury selections are usually on Mondays, or if I have a case that's set for trial. Other than that, I work from home Mondays, especially since COVID. So, but once again, number to contact if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you are able to see it on the screen. Instagram, I still don't know what streaming app to use like I can use on YouTube and Facebook. But anyway, so this evening, I want to talk to you guys about, let me charge this computer. I haven't charged it for goodness how many hours. Hold on 1 second, people. Okay, so how does this go? Right here. Okay, so let's talk about I-751. I'm proofreading because I have my lessons, so there's no reason why I should not spell correctly. I-751 or I-360, which should I file? I don't know how many consultations did I do today. I don't know. 4 out of those were relating to I-751 versus valid Nevada case. Let us make it clear. There are no. Yeah, I'm streaming on. I'm streaming on YouTube and Facebook on my computer at the same time. I'm talking of Instagram. I don't think like I have a streaming app that I subscribe to because I do lives quite a while, so I just had to pay. And I listen, y'all know my mother is a 𝐸𝐸𝐴 woman, so I'm half 𝐸𝐸𝐴. So if I don't have to spend the money for it, like I'm the kind of person like I have champagne taste, but I want to use beer budget to buy my champagne, unless I really have to spend champagne money. Yeah. So I had to subscribe to get to be able to broadcast on I think I have up to 3, but Instagram is not, and I use StreamYard. Instagram is not one of those. Hey, Miss Stanley. Instagram, did you see my email yesterday? I think you emailed me back. Listen, I don't know. Today was a good day. We got green card approval, I-130 approval, work permits, then the work permit approvals as well, travel documents, 5 prima facie determinations, and I don't know how many receipt notices. I just told them, I have a lady who comes in and helps. I said, just open it. And we already have a system where before we scan it to you, we have to put it in, because I am that kind of person that I need to know what's going on in everybody's case. Perfect. I need to know what's going on in your case so that I can get the email notification and you can get it too. And I just, yeah. I can be controlling. That's what I've been told. I don't think so. But hey, listen. I was born August 21st. My sign is Lee. Hey, Mr. Stanley, how are you? You see my response? So my sign is Leo. So hey, go figure. But I had to subscribe, but I cannot do it on Instagram. It's not part of what I can use on this streaming app. So anyway, we'll figure it out. So once again, number is 334-341-4475. 4 out of consultations I had today had to do with either filing the 751 and I-360. It gets confusing. I get it. There's something right in my nose. But I want you guys to be clear. Whenever I do these videos, like there's someone I consulted with today, barely speaks English, but she just found my YouTube channel and on Sunday and was up till Monday. Earlier, I was yesterday watching all the barely speaks English, but she goes, Yeah, you make it so simple to understand what it is you're talking about. That is my goal, that you are well educated and knowledgeable. Obviously, maybe not as much as the lawyer practicing this stuff, but at least you know what is going on in your case, and you're able to. I have no issues if a client says, "Hey, Attorney Olale, I don't think that's right." No issues, no ego, nothing. Listen, now if I'm right on something, you're gonna argue with me about something that I'm right about. Haha, you gotta tap Jesus to help you out, because I can argue with a wall. Gotta think about it. That's what I do for a living. I would argue till Jesus comes back. So yeah, I can argue with a ghost. But if you're right on something, I would tell you, you know what? Yes, you got that. So my point is, you've got to be knowledgeable. Yes, you pay the attorney to help you to make sure. But I want you to know, your case comes in, I'm going to tell you. If a notice comes and you don't understand, I'm going to let you know exactly what it says. So this is why I do this. So you understand when you get a notice. And by the way, somehow, yes, Mrs. Stanley, I will argue till Jesus comes back. Like, listen. I argued when I was going through my divorce 4 years ago. And when the judge is like, okay, I know you're a lawyer, but come on. Because I was like, I ain't backing down. My mama would tell you, like, like my parents knew that I was probably going to be a lawyer because, yeah, I have 3 siblings, and I think I talk for all 4 of us. I have enough words. But the funny thing is, once I'm home, I don't like to talk. Like when I come back from work, I don't question me, don't call me, leave me alone. But guess who makes me talk all the time? Not my oldest. My oldest kid is a saint. Well, they both saints. But my oldest kid, my 17 years, is a saint. He went grocery shopping for his mom because I wasn't going to be back. And I said, hey, listen, you got to go get grapes for your brother and yourself. And he'll, well, I got to get something in Walmart. But the 11-year-old, I just thank God that Gigi was my second child. And I'm talking slow because his room is right here. But anyway, I digress. I want you guys to understand your case and know exactly why something is being filed and why something should not be filed. That is what, how are you, Easy? That's what I-751 and I-360 brings about confusion, even for some lawyers, but I'm not really sure what the confusion is. So let's break it down. I-751 or I-360, which should you file? The very straightforward way to figure things out is this. If you are someone who has a conditional, so let's back up. I-751, you file to remove the conditions of your residency. Generally, you have to file jointly with your spouse. However, if you are filing a waiver-based 751, waiver-based basically means a self-petition, either because you got divorced, married in good faith, got divorced, married in good faith, abused, extreme hardship, or your spouse has passed away. Those are as far as relating to spouses. Those are the 4 grounds that relate to spouses. You have to file that before the second year, and latest by the 2nd year anniversary of your conditional residency card. You only need to file at 751 if you had a conditional residency card, and that's because your marriage was less than 2 years at the time you became a green card holder. So you have to file 751 to get a 10-year green card. VAL, on the other hand, you file VAL case to get a green card based on marriage to a citizen, a green card holder, but you have suffered abuse at the hands of that person. It is also a self-petition where you don't need your spouse to file, just like a self-petition waiver ground of a 751. The confusion comes in where someone has been abused. VAWA is strictly about being the victim of abuse and allowing you to now self-petition for your green card. The only comparison VAWA has to 751 is the self-petition waiver ground of abuse. So you can petition by yourself for 751 based on good faith divorce, good faith abuse, good faith death, or extreme hardship. All the other three, death, extreme hardship, divorce, those are different. Comparison between I-360 and the 751 is strictly about the abuse ground in 751, which is one of the grounds by which you can self-petition to get your 10-year green card. 751 and 360 both lead to you getting the 10-year green card. But the very first difference between both of them, which you have to remember, is this. In one, you already have a green card. 751, if you are filing a 751, that means you are already a legal permanent resident of the United States, albeit a conditional one, yes, but you are a legal permanent resident until you file, I think it's I-407, don't quote me on that, the form where you voluntarily abandon your residency, or an immigration judge actually strips you of your permanent residency status. Until one of those two things occur, you continue to maintain legal permanent residency status. When you file a valid I-360, that is because you do not have a green card yet. That means you're not a legal permanent resident to even start with. You don't have a status. 751, you already have a status until otherwise ordered by a judge, or you say, I'm giving it up. When I consult with people, and I'm telling you 4 cases today, where one of them, the attorney actually filed a VOD. Yes, they had an attorney, filed an I-360, and also now the I-360 hasn't approved, and they're wondering, okay, should I file a new 485 based on the I-360 approved? The problem with that is this. You cannot, I-485 is a green card application. You cannot start filing a new green card application when you already are a green card holder. Does that make sense? A 485 is you're filing that to get a green card. Why would you file a 485, a petition that is not by itself? 360 VAB approval does not give you a legal permanent residency status. It's the foundation for you to be able to file a 485. A 485 is a green card application. So why would you file yet another green card application if you've already been given a green card, even though it's conditional? It's conditional, but you're still a legal permanent resident until you lose that status. That's how I want you guys to look at it. Like, okay, someone tells you, well, you know, your spouse is not going to file with you for your 751. So that means you may be deported. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back a little bit. One thing I don't like about I-751 and denial is this. Whenever you switch to, even if it's a joint filing, but for the most part, it happens in a self-petition, and you're not able to prove the good faith, almost all the, I want to say 50% of the time, at least, USCIS will send your denial of the 751 as well as send your an NT, meaning notice to appear in immigration court, because there is no option to appeal the denial of a 751 petition to remove the conditions of your residency. However, even though it means you're going to be referred to immigration court, if that's the one thing I don't like about it. The good thing about it is this. Say, for instance, you file a 751 good faith based but divorced. They didn't believe you, you're referred to immigration court. The law is this. An immigration judge, if you inform the immigration judge that you want to file based on another self-petition ground. So let's assume you filed for divorce, that was rejected, you're referred to immigration court. You come back and say, I am, yes, and I'll mention that real quick. Jersey 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I am filing based on abuse. The Immigration Nationality Act says that the immigration court has to halt moving forward with a removal proceeding and allow you to go back to USCIS and file your 751 all over again based on a different ground. So you can't actually decide to file the 751 separately. You can file one self petition and select all the grants that apply to you, or you can decide to file one at a time until you've exhausted all the self petition grounds before the immigration court would actually have authority and jurisdiction kicks in. So if you're able to prove a VAWA case, and that means you don't have a green card, if you're able to sustain a VAWA case, you're able to sustain an abuse-based waiver 751. But the good thing about the abuse waiver 751 is this: you already have a green card. A VAWA petition, you don't have a green card. If you get that approved, you still need to file a green card. You cannot file a green card when you already are a green card holder, unless it's been terminated. I get excited because I know it's confusing, and I do this for a living. So for me, I can break it down. But if when in doubt, please get a second opinion. I can be your second opinion. I can be your first opinion. When in doubt, get a second opinion. It's important that you know exactly what you're doing, so you're not, stuck. Now, to the question, I think who was that? Let me see. Jersey Homeboy. Okay, Jersey Homeboy. That is, a lot of people get confused about I-90 and I-751. You will think, oh, okay, what's the confusion? But I'm not even kidding you. Two of the extensions we got today at the office were from people who self-petitioned by themselves. And when I say a 24-month extension to extend its permanent residency, two couples who petitioned by themselves, they researched and called USCIS, but USCIS, you have to understand, they're officers. They're not, he's on the legal service. Anyway, long story short, they were coming up on the expiration of their green card for the spouses, and they called USCIS, whatever it is. Anyway, they ended up filing an I-90, and a whole year passed by. Keep in mind, USCIS is going to take your money. You file something you're not supposed to file, that's on you. If they deny and say you were not eligible for what you filed, you ain't getting your money back. That's it. So you got to know what you're filing. Anyway, they filed an I-90, and then they got a denial because they were filing to renew their green cards, but they had conditional residency cards. So USCIS says you're not, eligible to renew your card because we do not have you even having your 10-year green card yet. You have, you should have filed to remove the conditions on your residency of 751. So an I-90 is completely different from a 751. 751 is you're going from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card. I-90 is for if you're extending your green card, your green card has expired, or you want to replace it because it's lost. But in that realm, I-90 has nothing to do with you going from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card. Enough said, people. That's all. That's all. Okay. I'm going to start from YouTube and Facebook. Hello, Miss Catherine. How are you? Joseph Kaloka. Yes, we got all things are possible. Hello, Mr. West. I love that. I'm going to share it. He says, for the Lord is with you. God can do the undo. I'm telling you, I share the same sentiment with you. May God bless. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've got to believe in something. You've got to believe in the higher power. Listen, I was raised in a Christian home, and my mom, night vigil and all that. And then I got married, and then I was going to MFM. And if to know me, it's not that I love my food. But when I got married, they forced me, literally forced me to do deliverance. And because they said my mother is a devil, so we have some demons in us. Don't even get me started. But anyway, part of deliverance is you don't eat for 72 hours. I'll leave that alone. I'll leave it alone. Thank you, Miss Justina. But I just know that I move, I breathe, I'm able because God is more than able, and there is nothing that is impossible for Him to do. There's just nothing impossible. Impossibility is not a word in God's vocabulary, and so sometimes life may not look that way, but I found it about 2 months ago with a pending I-130. The next day after the Stokes interview, my husband passed away unexpectedly. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. Can I file a reader petition? That's not a yes or no question. That's something you sit down with an attorney to answer, Miss Keisha. Hello, Miss 𝒊𝒒𝒏𝒕. How are you doing? Okay. Joseph, is there any good news for asylum cases and removal proceedings? By good news, what do you mean? It depends on what your own good news can be. Is your good news going to be termination because you have other alternative to relief? Is your good news administrative closure? Is your good news prosecutorial discretion so they can stipulate that you qualify? It's not a, what is the good news? There's a lot going on in the immigration world. Mukaila, I have not received my biometric letter since January 31st. I submitted my form I-751. Please, it takes how many months to receive? I don't know what's going on with USCIS, but I've noticed in my practice that cases, it's all social media is at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 immigration. The cases that my clients where I'm getting clients where we're converting from a regular marriage adjustment of status to a VAW petition, I'm not getting the receipt notices for those cases for upwards of 2-3 months. And I'm not kidding you. I got one today. So I filed one. When I say one, where we switch over and they stick in my, because I do more of from scratch VAW cases, like the ones we sent out today, but then some from time to time we convert. But I filed one in, I think the last week in February, and we did not get the receipt notices until I want to say first week in May. The ones we got today, then we filed one the second week in February. We didn't get the receipt notice till end of April, I think April 27 or so. Then the ones we got today, we've submitted that they received, Vermont Service Center received in March 14. And yeah, I remember those days because it's just crazy. March 14. So 2.5 months before we got the receipt notices for that case. And all those cases, the only thing they have in common are cases that we're converting. Every single case that is a new case that I filed way after that, we've got, some have gotten biometric. Some, I think I have one that we filed first week in May. And one of the prima facies that came in today, which is somewhere there, is from that case. First week in May. So, Mukaila, I don't know what's going on. Call them and find them, because your case, unless it's an abuse-based 751, but if it's a regular one, call them and see what they tell you. Okay. Lady B, thank you. Deborah Gibson, every time I watch or listen to you, I'm blessed. What God cannot do doesn't exist. Better preach it. Don't even let us start a church in here. Lady B says to your Instagram, you're missing. Lady B says someone needs to read Psalms on these USCIS people to answer someone. I'm telling you, see night vigil and everything, and just pray. I did a video like, okay, if you're going for your interview, just do your hands like, no, don't mention my name, but I'm telling you, listen. Okay. James Jareska, I filed for VAW. I got a prima facie. I want to know if I can go to college while my case is pending. I want to know if prima facie can allow me to get financial aid. Every state is different. I'm not sure if financial aid is one of the government benefits you can. I can't speak to anybody's specific case. If you need something, answers to your specific case, you would need to set up a proper consultation. Consultation is $130 for 30 minutes, $200 for 45 minutes, $230 for an hour. Every single person who retains my services within 15 days from the consultation, you get that credit towards, it's not refundable, but it's a courtesy credit towards the attorney fees. But generally, state and federal benefits depending on each state. So I really cannot answer your question as far as financial aid. Yes, Miss Deborah, there is nothing. Oh, okay. Ms. Okpayami, you mentioned body language is a factor to reckon with green card influence. Explain. Basically, what I'm saying is you can send in everything out of the kitchen sink when it comes to documentary evidence. One of the things that's come up a lot, all the interviews I have attended between September 2021 and now, you can tell that there's a lot going on and being observed when it comes to body language. Anyone can come up with documents. They want to see how you interact. Do you, there's a way, when people say, you bickering with couples that have been married for so long, you already know, like, even if you're not a body language expert, you already know how they are, like, they won't kill themselves. They haven't killed themselves in 40 years. This part of the training, and this is some information that I get, I can't share with you where I get it from, but part of the training they have with officers is to monitor and see how you are. In addition to whether or not you have consistency in your testimony, they're watching you. They're watching how you answer. They're watching how you fidget or whether you're nervous. And so it's not just so. Don't be consumed by, oh, I got to get Lisa Garita. I got to get this. Got to get that. Also, how do you interact? If you have all the documents, but you're complete strangers to one another, and you're sitting and everybody's looking like, okay, who are you? And you're probably going to get, okay, your case needs for the review. So that's basically that in a nutshell, Mr. O'Quavian. And that's part of what I always tell my clients we work on as well. Mex, how does a recent DUI affect VA pending approval? Sit down with an attorney to discuss your case. That's going to be your best option. Deborah, VA from 2018. Approved in February. So your VA is approved. Congratulations. How long for the green card? Depends on the processing time. Each field office is different, and it depends on how soon Vermont Service Center transfers your file to the field office that has jurisdiction over your case. Mark John, what benefit can I enjoy after receiving prima facie determination from VA apart from getting a driver's license? I did a video on that. That you can get housing vouchers, food stamps. But see, the thing is, for the most part, most of my clients are Africans and Caribbeans, and most of them tell me, I don't care. See, where we're from, I'm yet to say, I can speak for Nigerians. I'm yet to say Nigerian who wants to get handouts. Truth be told, Nigerians have too much pride. Too much pride and ego to be getting a handout. They just want the work permit. It's like, okay, yeah, prima facie determination. Okay, now you can get Medicaid. So that's something you don't have to pay. If I don't have to pay for health insurance because I'm self-employed, I got to pay for my own health insurance. If I don't have to pay and someone has to tell us I pay, listen, I will. But yeah. But as far as state specific, what's it called? Case benefits. That's something you have to find from your state. Okay, let us go to Instagram. What time is it? Okay, guess I have to finish some work tonight. Hello, Mr. Roman. How are you? Good evening, Blue Trillions. Hello, hello, hello. He is a mighty, mighty God. Thank you, Miss Joy. Okay. Hey, Mr. Roland, how are you? I'm just seeing everybody joining in. Hey, Miss Annette. Okay, yeah, I've already seen that. Because spend money, John. Listen, I don't know. I spend money. See all the. I mean, now I'm just a sales girl, like in the sense of if I go when I go to Macy's, I'm looking for the sales section first. Listen, my mother is Ijebu. It's in the blood. Now there are some things that I will buy full price. Some things that so everyone's we all have a weaknesses. I'll tell you guys what that. But there's for the most part like but the funny thing is I find it a lot easier to spend money on other people than myself. Like I mean, I don't even think twice if I have to, someone says, "Hey, I need help," or I'm going to buy something for my kid. It's I get some joy in giving and doing something for somebody else than for my like for myself. I would think and think like, okay, do I really need it? Yeah, you know. But other people, it comes really, really easy for me. I don't know. This is say so. I don't know. We'll just see. Um, why, Becky? Why are interviews coming before work permits now? Listen, I ain't gonna complain. I'm not complaining now. For instance, the case that I went for, I just got back from actually exactly a week ago is when we got the case approved in Kansas City. My client doesn't have his travel document and his work permit. Those are still pending. Those are still pending. And the green card is on the way. I don't know. Listen, if we could figure out USCIS, we'll all be in a good place. Trust me. The Ponder Sheikh. So a lot of people, not too many people call me Bisola. If you call Bisola is someone who knows me either from FGGC Akure or from Ilorin or from law school, or you're my family member. Other than that, no. So I don't know who Ponder Sheikh. What is your real name? Okay, good, Mrs. Stanley. Um, yes, I would argue with a wall. I would argue with a stone. Yeah, that's just unless I just don't feel like I always listen. If I'm getting paid to argue, basically doing my job, I'm fine. But if I'm going to be wasting my breath and you ain't paying me, sometimes I just let it go. Like, okay, whatever. No, too much stress for me. Yeah, we already discussed that, Jersey. Okay, I think okay, what options does a person have when they have a pending I-751 and 400 and spouse did not show up for first interview, interview was canceled? What happens if spouse does not show up? Again, you got to sit down with a lawyer because that's not, you got to figure out what your options are. Do you need to switch to a self-petition ground? And what ground would fit you where you still do not, for the most part, abuse ground is where you can still sustain your citizenship application without having to wait 5 years. So that's something you're going to have to do a consultation with a lawyer with and figure out what's the best option for you, especially if your spouse did not show up the first time. Is it because they're controlling you? What is it? What's going on? There's a whole lot that you need. This is not a yes and no question. Thank you, Mr. Oladimiji. Why, Judy? I just got my 10 years green card after 2 years of interview. Everyone say congratulations to why, Judy. I'm telling y'all, whenever I see approvals and all that, wait, you need to be in my office building. Everybody knows. And when they hear my voice is loud. Like I'm over 5 foot tall. Like I'm short, but I've got a very, very, very strong voice that carries. And so when they hear me in my office, been like, okay, she got some immigration news. Everybody like, just leave her alone. She's fine. The very first time, I'm a Niger woman. So the very first time I freaked out like that, they thought something was wrong. And everybody ran to my office like, what? And they go, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. What was that noise? I got some immigration papers for the client. You know, our Nigerian drama, you've got to like, okay, yeah. So, but congratulations, Judy. I'm always, always happy. Um, yeah, Olale Immigration. Hello, Ms. SZ. How are you? Did you call to find out? I wish I could help. I'm telling you, it's so like I have and I feel so humbled and honored and just I have a guy that I represent an immigration case and his wife got a green card through him and it's very very apparent that she waited to get the green card through he was employment based and as soon as they got a green card she just filed for divorce and now and I tell you every single day up until this evening he keeps texting me he does research for himself to try to convince me to take on his case in a divorce case because he has gone to sit down with 4 or 5 attorneys. For whatever reason, he's just not satisfied. And he says, Abby, I found this and I think you can. The problem is, I represented both of them in the immigration case. So I have so much on the wife that in order for me to effectively represent him in a divorce case, there's no how I will not have to use the information I know about the wife against her. And by state bar rules, that's a big conflict and I cannot. I say that to say as Ms. Aziz at the same thing. As much as I love to be able to represent, there's some limitations we have, and I'm sure you and I agree that if things were different, I'll listen. I would have been done. How can an R1 holder bring in the spouse who lives outside the U.S.? R2, they would apply for an R2 visa. Um, 751 are not priorities for them, from my understanding. I-45 are moving super fast. It's not like they're not priorities. Everything, even for even N400, it depends on where you are. For instance, my sister-in-law represented my sister-in-law last year. USCIS received her application on June 10, 2021. She was sworn in as a citizen on August 10, 2021, exactly 2 months from receipt to being sworn in. I have some cases that we filed since February 2021. We're still waiting on interview. Depends on the state, depends on the field office. So it's not about, and valid cases are only dealt with at the Vermont Service Center. Abuse-based 751 are now being dealt with at the Vermont Service Center. So we have the service center that is in charge of this particular kind of petitions. It's going to take them much longer. There's news that things are going to get better, but let's just see how things go. I always say, listen, it's frustrating, but you cannot lose hope because you're going to be defeated. You can't lose hope. I know it's not like it's easier because you know to see lawyer you to buy green card to buy citizenship. I get it, but you if you lose hope, then what? So okay, while waiting on I-45 employment base, can you invite your parent? You can invite anyone to come. They still have to apply for their own visas and then show that they have strong ties to go back, and it's going to be temporary. BC, the best. It's my first time here, ma'am. I'm liking everything about you. Thank God. God bless you, man. Please, how can I get to talk with you one-on-one? That's a consultation. This is what I do for free. If you need to come, like I had an hour, and I'm seeing a lot more people are scheduling 1 hour consultations, and it's amazing how I had a couple, very very sweet couple that we had. That was my last consultation for today. We're going to be starting an adjustment of status for them, and we talked about everything. I look forward to having consultations because people start with very tensed and all that. I look forward to. I don't have the answers to everything. But if I can make you feel a little better about your day, that's it. But if you go and visit the best, if you go on my website, Olale Immigration, olalalawfirm.com, or if you put in Olale Immigration, any of the platforms, social media platforms, you would be able to contact or schedule. But to schedule your consultation, you have to go on the website. We're trying to put the links on the other, but I just try to narrow it down to the website so it's right there, and we've narrowed it down a week ago now because we used to have 3 different links, but everything is now streamlined. It's just one link you click on, you schedule you choose the time that works best for you, you make the payment. And the same link, once you confirm, in the same link, you get your Zoom link that is very specific to your case. Listen, thank God for technology. Oh, no, how did they say? You already know. Nothing comes free. So have all of that in one, you got to pay. But that ain't his business expense. But listen. But Uncle Sam is ready to take everything for you. Uncle Sam still sent me a letter today saying I still didn't pay enough taxes. And because I didn't pay enough taxes, this is the balance I owe. And because I didn't pay enough taxes, this is the interest. And because I didn't pay enough taxes, this is a penalty. Anyway, we should move on to Niger. Let me just make all the dollars I can make here and go. Okay, let's see. Ibuku, thank you. I appreciate that. Jersey, thank you. Consultation. Those are my people. They already tell, like, listen, you're new here. Okay, let's just let you know what you need to do. This is when can one remarry after getting 2 years conditional green card and divorce based and domestic, and you get your 18 extension, and after when you get your 24 months, don't remarry until you get your 10-year green card. That's what I would say. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna get up soon. Do you think with a removal procedure, I can still go ahead to apply for the working permit based on adjustment status because I have a valid case pending? So if you want to do that, you have to file your 485 with the immigration court. And then once you file that, you have to send a copy of that to the Texas Service Center. And then based on that, you can file a C9 category. So you'll want to get a lawyer. That makes it a lot easier. What happens to a client that filed VAR and keeps getting work authorization? What can she do? I don't understand what you mean. What are you trying to ask? I filed for VAR for my 2 kids, and I was only approved for me and one of my daughters. And my other daughter, I don't know what happened. I don't have any information. Can you enlighten me? That's something that you would need to sit down with a lawyer to explain, because that's not a yes or no, or that's something that I would need to know what's going on in your case. How long does it take to remove conditions of green card? It's taking them. Now, keep in mind, a month ago, there's a new policy that as long as you send insufficient evidence, whether it's a joint filing or a self petition, if they have sufficient evidence and you don't have any other issues of inadmissibility, then they may have they will use the discretion to waive interviews. So it just depends. But as far as how long, people are waiting 2 years plus. Miss Shohini, your live streams are very informative. Thank you. I appreciate that. When an asylum case has been denied, what is the option? If your case has been denied affirmatively and you're without any other status, they will refer you to immigration court. That's just the way asylum works. Now, is it being denied in court? Is it being denied at the asylum office and where you were still in legal status? What is your case? Because there's a whole lot that has to go with that information. Is it okay to write a letter to USCIS with regard to your AD card renewal filed together with I-360 and you didn't receive? Yes, you can write a letter to them. Is USCIS waiving interviews? That's what I just talked about, depending on what it is. Okay. I think I've already answered this question. What happens to a client that filed VAR keeps getting work authorized? What can she do? That I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. Is your case, has the case now been approved and you're getting the C31? You're reapplying? What exactly is? What do you mean keep getting? So they're trying to split the advanced parole away from the EAD because they're seeing that the AP, the combo card, is what they're saying has been slowing them down in issuing the EADs faster. So we got 2 EADs today. One was filed in this, although they're combo cards. I'm not really, yeah. One was filed November and the other one was filed December last year. And they both came today. And they're related to VA. So I don't know. Listen, if I can figure USCIS out, it will be good, but I cannot. How long can I stay out of the country with approved advanced parole? I usually tell my clients not to stay maximum. Comfortable for me is 21 days. I had people stay 30 days, but listen, I have faith, but I don't push it. That's just me. Anyway, okay, people. So let me just leave you with this. Combo card is combined EAD and advanced parole. So they're trying to split that where one doesn't slow the other down. So you may see more of the paper advanced parole and the EAD by itself. But I know it's a whole lot going on out there, people. I know it's really, it's something that can give you gray hair. Now, my gray hair is not from immigration. It is from everything. I started having early strands of like 2-3 strands of gray hair when I was in my 20s. But when I started practicing law, it's like, I woke up one day, it's like, huh? And I used to dye and color my hair black, and my face would look much younger. And people would say, "How old are you?" Like, okay, you can't win either way. You dye your hair, you look much younger than you don't dye your hair. Someone's like, oh, but for me, it was a waste of money because once again, Ijebu girl. Also every other week, I was like, you know what? I ain't doing it. If it bothers you, keep it moving. It's not on your head. It's on my head. But anyway, I know it's a whole lot. Some of us have gray hairs from this crazy immigration journey, but you've got to hold on. You've got to hold on. And that's what I was listening to coming back from work today, that there is nothing God cannot do. You've got to, I think sometimes when you leave it at the altar, leave it at the feet of Jesus and just say, you know what, I can bear this. Thank you. I can bear this. I leave it all. He was nailed to the cross and he bore our burdens on our yoke. He's carrying it so that we don't have to. We're human. The human mind is conditioned to think negative thoughts, and that's okay. Okay, in the sense of allow it to be. Don't dwell on it. Let it come in and let it get out, because you look up and you know that you have a higher power that says that there is nothing that he cannot do. And I'll give you an example. I had a consultation with a woman who was granted asylum status, one of the very, very difficult grounds. And she and her husband were granted asylum status very, very quickly. Their case was filed. I can't remember but it was relatively very short. And I told her one thing, and I have the email. I told her and she consulted me because they've been waiting for their green card. And we talked about the present time. And based on when they filed, they should not have had that green card until end of next year. But I said something to her, and I said, Mrs., her name, and they're Nigerians. I said, I'm looking at the way your case has planned out. It's not based on man timeline, because man is the one, humans are the ones that have put USCI's website together. It's not based on that. This is God having a hand in your case. And because Bible says that he that has begun a good work in you, he is able to complete it. And I told her, he has started this. It is unusual, but it is not impossible. And said, so I will not be surprised This was just last week. I said, even though the USCIS present time says you cannot contact them until next year, and I say, don't contact them because you're going to delay your case. But I said, I will not be surprised, and I'm not sure she's on, if you call me within the next few weeks and you say, Sisi lawyer, and you believe my case, my green card has been approved. And guess what happened this morning? The very first text I got, not text, email I got says, you would not believe it. Because I sent her an email. I said, your case is not, God has shown you favor, something. I will not be surprised that it will be the same. And this email I got this morning, they've approved your green card. Just last week, we were talking about the earliest time was going to be next year, November 2023. I said all that to say this. We are working with human timeline. We're working with man's report. I am a living testimony. When I tell you that I got my green card when I was still married to my ex-husband through employment base. When we got the green card, based on calculation, it should not have been. But God does not work on man's timeline. He works according to his plan. And believe the report of God. Once you know that, it's not, everything may look gloomy. It may look like there is no way out. But I guarantee you, as long as God sits upon the throne of grace and he remains God all by himself, hey, keep believing. And he will do things for you at the appointed time. Bye, everybody.